It really is the clicker. But this one doesn't scroll. Oh, okay, we'll use this one. All right, guys, so. What's up, guys? This is Odde from Casper Studios, and today I'm going to show you a few techniques I like to do to make your ad-libs just pop a little bit more or grab a little bit more attention. So here is the song that we're working on.
Steady writing love letters. She asked me, can I love better? I look right past it and I shrug at her. Me, I can shine on, be the hoodie, this ain't no love sweater. She steady writing love letters. She asked me, can I love better?
All right, so this is about 4 bars of the hook. And what I like about this song is that it's very simple, just one lead vocal, one full take of ad-libs. And it's kind of like an answer call, right? It's lead vocal, ad-lib, lead vocal, ad-lib. So it gives perfect room already for ad-libs. That's one good technique to have when you're recording, when you're writing a song. If you leave, good gaps between the lead vocals for your ad-libs, that's gonna let it cut through better anyways. Sometimes it's a little harder when you have ad-libs on top of lead vocals, and I'll show you a few tricks. But in my opinion, I think the moral of it to get your ad-libs to kind of pop out and feel different than ad-libs is just to get them wider and give them a different texture. That's kind of my view on it. And I'll show you a few ways I do that. So first thing is tone. We're gonna give it a different tone. I'll show you my shaping EQ on the lead vocal. So this is what I have right here. A little boost, in the, where is it at? 3,700 range. And we got a big boost, high shelf at 13,000. And then we're taking out a few frequencies, taking out some mud. Very simple. This is a normal lead vocal EQ. So what I did differently on the ad-lib is not too much on the shape, but when I bring it to the ad-lib bus, I kind of warming it up. I take off a lot of low end. That's going to give it a different tone. And another thing, I've said this before, on de-essers, I really don't use de-essers very often to de-ess vocals. I use it to kind of create tone. My favorite thing with de-essers is that I can pick a frequency and kind of compress that area, and I can kind of shape the tone of it, maybe get it warmer. If I really want to de-ess something, I want to get a surgical dynamic EQ and find the exact frequency and then compress there. But it works. De-essers do de-ess, if you were wondering. So my next thing is on compressors. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of compression. And here is where we start adding the color that isn't on the lead vocal. A little bit of saturation and a boost on some low end will definitely give you, give it more warmth versus the crispier, brighter lead vocals. And then the chorus is gonna give it more character, but it's also gonna spread it out. It's gonna make it wider than the lead vocal. This lead vocal is a mono track, and if you can look here, my ad-lib is actually a stereo track. So that's gonna help kind of give it its own space as well. So let's listen to it with the chorus.
She asked me, can I love better? I look right past it and I shrug at her. Me, I can shine on, be the hoodie, this ain't no love sweater. She steady writing love letters. She asked me, can...
So it definitely sounds completely different. Not just volume, right? It is a little quieter, but it has a different character to it. Another thing I like to do is stereo imaging. It's the same reason I'm using the chorus, is to spread it out. It's to get a little bit wider. You want your lead vocals kind of dancing out here, and you want your ad-libs to be more atmospheric, right? So stereo imaging, I'm not doing it too much. I really don't get it outside of here. I keep it dead in the middle. You can kind of, move it around if you want. The last thing I like to do is the effects, the reverb and delay. On this one, I wanted to exaggerate it. I want it to be real atmospheric, like I said. So I'm gonna get really crazy on the reverb. Let me show you the first reverb set I have. This is actually a really short decay just to give it more room. It's also another tactic on getting it wider, I've noticed, is when I have short room reverb on a vocal before I add the longer decay reverb, it kind of feels like it's a little wider in a bigger room.
She asked me, can I love better? I look right past it and I shrug at her. Me, I can shine on, be the hoodie, this ain't no love sweater.
So that's kind of a dramatic approach just to show you what it's doing. And then a lot more reverb here. And then my delay is, I'm not ping-ponging it. A lot of people like to ping-pong. I kept it down the middle and kind of long feedback so it can kind of feels slow and drug out. So another tactic I like to do to add more character to it, I could show you now, is instead of chorus, I could use a doubler. And what I like to do on this waves doubler is use all 4 of these and actually drop an octave on these 2 right here. So it gives it kind of a droopy slow-mo feel. Let me show you.
Letters. She asked me, can I love better?
Right, so that gives it a lot of character too. That's something that you're not gonna really notice if you turn it down a little bit. You know, you don't want it to, the whole vocal to be dropped down an octave, but that will give it that little bit of character where you can really hear it and it'll cut through. So let's hear that instead of the chorus on the hook.
Steady writing love letters. She asked me, can I love better? I look right past it and I shrug at her. Me, I can shine, I need a hoodie, this ain't no love sweater. She steady writing love letters. She asked me, can I love better? I look right past it and I shrug at her. Me, I can shine, I need a hoodie, this ain't no love sweater. Yeah, look, I can't do it.
So yeah, there's a few other tactics that, you know, we could go over. There's endless amount of ways you can make this kind of dance around. A lot of people like to pan it left and right. You know, each lyric kind of dances around, but this is the approach that me and the artist were going for, and I think it sounds great. There's not necessarily a correct way to do this. There's multiple ways to do it. There's thousands of ways to do it. If it sounds good, then go that direction. There's definitely guidelines that'll help you get to that industry sound that you're looking for, but morally, just follow what sounds good. You know, there's.
Hit it with that. Just say, just follow what sounds good.
Just follow what sounds good.
That's a way to get it.